Okay, so we, our main claim, for the negative side, we are trying to keep the Indian gaming, gambling age at 18 instead of raising it to 21. Keeping it at 18 will allow the Native American tribes and sovereigns to keep increasing their economy since they are an independent country and don't acquire funds from the U.S. state. A tribal, this is from the American Indian Sovereignty and Law, and annotated bibliography by Dr. Wade Clow. Tribal sovereignty in the United States refers to the inherent authority of indigenous tribes to govern themselves within the borders of the United States of America. So the federal governments recognize the tribal nations as domestic dependent nations, but the state is able to oversee the Indian territories, but the Indian territories are able to govern themselves. The Indian Gaming Regulatory Act is a 1988 act in the United States federal law that establishes the jurisdictional framework that governs Indian gaming. There was no federal gaming structure before this act. The stated proposes of the act included providing a legislative basis for the operation, regulation of the Indian gaming, protection gaming as a means of generating revenue for the tribe, encouraging economic growth and development of these tribes, and protecting the enterprises of the negative influences. So by keeping it at age 18, this increases the population of gamblers. So the Native American economy is primarily based and surrounded by the Indian gaming casinos, such as, for example, Morongo, Pechanga, and San Manuel's. This is a successful industry in which the more people gamble, the more stimulated the economy for Indian tribes gets. So by having more people gambling, the Indian economy will rise. At the age of 21, if we raise the age to 21, that will decrease, which will result in a negative impact on the economy, and less people will gamble. Indian gaming revenues grew from 100 million in 1988 to 16.7 billion in 2003. Since 2009, over $26.5 billion has been generated yearly. Over 220 tribes in 29 states currently conduct 350 Indian gaming operations. More people gambling means more money going into the casinos, which will stimulate the Indian economy. Like my opponent said, there is a lot of poverty in the Native American communities, and education is limited. This is primarily the most significant source of financing and money that stimulates their economy. So by taking away, or by raising the gambling age to 21, that will decrease the age demographic. So people from 18 to 20 will not be able to gamble, and therefore not be able to stimulate their economy. Prohibition also, prohibition of 18-year-old gamblers may lead to illegal and underground gambling. So this would lead to addiction and over wasting of their money. Professor Gil Valentine of the University of Sheffield states that 75% of underage teenagers already gamble to some extent. If we raise it to 21, it will respark a prohibition type of scenario in which we will see an increase in gamblers versus a decrease. So by keeping it at 18, the age of the amount of people gambling will be greater than it were if it were changed to 21.